All right, what's going on, Matrix, you guys? Another episode of Matrix Unplugged. It's your boy White Dragon 1987 with the Miami Dolphins, aka Miguel Muchacho. Alpha male, he is not in the building tonight, you guys. His kids ate his microphone or somebody ran off with it. His girl's hiding it. I don't know what's going on, but he said he can't be here. But I do have a special guest tonight. We have the one and only PB the God with the LA Rams. He didn't make the playoffs this year, but you guys know him from the last franchise. He was out there busting heads open. What's going on, Peyton? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Glad to have you back on the show, young man. Glad to have you back on the show.
I'm glad to be back.
So you guys, we're going to keep this podcast short and sweet because we're going to drop another one next week. But let's jump right into it as usual. Let's break down the league administrators just in case you guys try with the bullshit. No, I forgot who's who. The commissioners, you got the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and myself as an alternate. Graphics, that's going to be me and the Redskins handling all of our graphics and the podcast and everything. Trade committee, the trade committee are going to be the Bucks, the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the alternates are the 49ers and the Dolphins. Our trade committee has worked really good, you guys. This is probably the best thing in our league. It's really intuitive. They go through, if a trade's kind of one-sided, they'll actually say, hey, you need to throw in a second-round pick or do this or this to make the trade work. These guys are really fair, and glad to have them doing this stuff. One thing I want to jump into really quick, we've had some confusion the first couple of years. I don't know if it's people trying to pull the okie doke, if people for real don't know, but it's two things. Either you're cheating or you're fucking stupid. So you tell me which one you are. But here is the position changes. Here's the rules we got. You're allowed to move O-line. You can shuffle O-line to wherever you want to. So you can move a guard to tackle, tackle to center. That's cool. We don't care about that. You can move a fullback to tight end. You can put a tight end to fullback. You're cool doing that. Linebacker to linebacker, you're good to do that. Defensive end to defensive tackle, as long as they stay on the D-line, you're good. You're good moving DB to DB. So you can move a corner to safety, safety to corner, whatever you want to do, and kicker and punter. So these are the following rule changes which are prohibited. Do not make any of these position changes. We've said it once, we've said it again. It's in the chat, it's in the calendars. You guys are either being stupid and you can't read, or you're cheating. Like I said, it's up to you to figure out which one you're doing. Do not move quarterback to any position other than quarterback. You cannot move quarterback. You cannot move running back, halfback to any other position group. I want to say that recently we have allowed people to move running back to fullback, but if you start flipping them back and forth and you're going running back, fullback, running back on a weekly basis, you're probably trying to cheat with some sort of XP glitch. If you want to move a running back to fullback, leave him there, all right? Wide receiver to any other position group is prohibited. You cannot move a wide receiver to anything else. You cannot move an offensive lineman to anything other than offensive line. You can't move a defensive lineman to anything other than defensive line, and you cannot move a defensive back to anything other than defensive back. You guys are allowed to move linebackers to defensive end as long as they don't have speed, agility higher than the highest defensive end in the game. So what do we mean by that? You can't go take like a 93 speed linebacker and put him at defensive end because there's no other defensive end in the game with 93 speed. So you can't break the game. But if you've got an older guy that's a linebacker, or maybe a guy that he's a 3-4 outside linebacker, but you'd like to play him on a 4-3 defensive end, we'll let you guys do that. But understand we're going to be looking at a lot of these things. One big rule change we've got to make very clear: no X factor position changes. If you have a player that is an X factor, you cannot change their position. Period. It doesn't matter if you recently obtained X factor or if they came factory with X factor. No changing X factor positions. The reason is it re-rolls their abilities. Some of you dudes like to cheat. Excuse me. Some of y'all try to cheat. You get a defensive end that's got some bullshit X factor ability, and y'all keep on moving the position back and forth, and we catch you. We got to kick you out of the league. We got to tell your moms, because I know you're living at home with your mom because you're doing this fuck shit. Stop it. No moving X factors, all right? So please pay attention to the rules, you guys. I will be looking at all the position changes, and I'm going to catch you. So don't get caught. You're going to be out of here. Peyton, anything you want to drop and add into the position changes? Anything new here for you? Is the same old, same old?
Nah, everything is pretty much self-explanatory. Just, like you said, just don't move it outside the limited positions that they already can be moved to. Don't try anything that's crazy. Like, strong safety to linebacker, kicker to quarterback, anything crazy, really.
Yeah, you guys, and we don't have many gameplay rules. I think that's why a lot of people like coming into Matrix. You can run whatever offense you want, whatever defense you want. We don't give a shit, but we're very strict on your roster change rules, things like that. Now, again, in the depth chart, you can do whatever the game will let you do. If the game will let you put a wide receiver at running back in the depth chart, you can do it. If the game will let you put a linebacker at defensive end in the depth chart, you can do it. We're just talking about actually editing the player's position, all right? Another thing, along with these position changes, don't keep switching a player's position back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, even if it's a permitted position change, because you're showing us you're probably trying to do some sort of XP glitch or some shit like that. If you move your player, leave him there. If you change his position once or twice throughout the season, we're cool with that, but don't be stupid, you guys. All right, it's a game. If you got to cheat to win, go play something else, man. Go play Grand Theft Auto. Go play Minecraft. Go play Fortnite. You're not a big boy. You're not a man. All right, stop the cheating shit. Let's keep it on rolling. Peyton, I want to give a shout out to the MVP this year, Miles Sanders of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're not going to go through all the awards tonight. We'll do that on a later show, but I got to give a shout out to Miles Sanders with the MVP. What was he doing this year, dude?
Excuse me. My bad. I'm looking right now. But Miles Sanders for sure. I was checking that out myself. It's ridiculous how many rushing yards he has. I've never seen anything like it. Mine's loading right now. He had 2,273 rushing yards and 23 touchdowns. This guy was averaging 162.4 rushing yards a game. That's ridiculous. That's 8.6 average of carries. That means every time he touched the ball, it's a first down damn near every time he touched it.
And, this kid's a rookie. And I played I had the privilege to play the Eagles earlier this year. And I really thought I was going to lose. I was down 2 scores. And I had the hardest time containing Miles Sanders. I've got a pretty good run defense. I've got some pretty fast linebackers, but the way he runs the ball with Miles Sanders, he is so good in just running like laterally all the way to the sideline and turning upfield. He has got excellent stick skills when it comes to running the ball. If he builds a pretty good passing game to complement this guy is probably going to win multiple Super Bowls. But he's in the playoffs now. We'll see what he can do, but Miles Sanders, amazing season. I love seeing people run the ball. I really enjoyed playing him. Dude's got game. Let's keep it moving. Let's break down this year's playoffs for 2019-2020. The playoff teams you got over in the AFC. The bye weeks were with the number 1 seed, the Baltimore Ravens, and me with those raggedy-ass trash Miami Dolphins with the number 2 seed at 14-2, you guys. I don't know how y'all let this happen. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all might want to call somebody to get some help, but you should not let these Dolphins go 14-2. But you let it happen, so you're trash. Got to put you guys where you belong. Moving on, the number 3 seed, you have the Kansas City Chiefs. The number 4 seed, you had the Tennessee Titans. 5 seed was the Oakland Raiders, and the 6 seed was the Cleveland Browns. Peyton, can you let me know what happened in the AFC wildcard matchups from the first week of the playoffs? You had the Titans against the Raiders, and you had the Kansas City Chiefs against the Cleveland Browns. What did we have happen?
So you had the Chiefs beat the Browns 14-7. You had the Raiders beat the Titans 38-0. You had the Vikings beat the Panthers 43-28, and then you had the Giants beat the Cardinals 28-24.
Okay, so Giants and you said the Vikings moved on?
Yeah, Giants and Vikings.
All right, so AFC side, you got the Raiders and you have the Chiefs. They moved on. The Raiders are going to face the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round. We just advanced, and then you're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs facing me. He's going to have to come down to Miami, so we'll see how they play down there. Over on the AFC side, you had the Giants taking out the Cardinals. Then you had the Panthers taking out the Vikings, correct?
Yes, sir.
So then we'll have the Panthers going toe-to-toe with the Falcons. We have another division rival making it back up to the playoffs. And then you'll have the Giants going up against the Eagles. So going to be very nice this playoffs, you guys. Got a lot of heavy hitters in there. Nice to see that. We'll see what happens. Real quick, though, for all you guys that didn't make the playoffs, I want you guys to know this is probably one of the best drafts you're going to see coming out. Our last franchise, we did the random generated drafts, and they weren't really strong. There was a lot of times like you would draft guys in the first round, like a 62 overall, 68 overall, but these guys are studs, all right? There's no reason you can't go get a playmaker in this first round. So I did a quick little Matrix Madden mock draft. This is the first 32 picks. I've got everything in order as it is now before you guys make any more trades. Just want to do a quick rundown of who I think is going to go where. Maybe it's little tips I've seen in the chat. Maybe I have a little inside information. But this is what I'm looking at. Looks like the number 1 pick this year, which is held by the Cincinnati Bengals, is going to be defensive end Chase Young. The number 2 pick, I'm projecting Jerry Jeudy of Alabama to go number 2 to the Baltimore Ravens. He's a wide receiver. Number 3, I'm going to go ahead and project myself to take Joe Burrow because I have ass at quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead.
Just like you could be your cousin. Go ahead.
That's right. Joe Burrow looks just like me, man. So, hey, it might be. You don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. I might change his name. I might change him to Joe Powell. But I'll probably go grab Joe Burrow at the number 3 pick. Number 4, you got the Ravens up there again because a bunch of y'all dummies want to give the best player in the league all y'all's draft picks, and you're stupid. I don't know what's wrong with you. But number 4, I'm projecting the Baltimore Ravens to take Derek Brown, defensive tackle, at pick 4. He needs some more help on the D-line. I know he likes pass rushers. So number 5, I'm projecting the Jacksonville Jaguars to take Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback out of Alabama. Number 6, I'm projecting the Bills to select Andrew Thomas, left tackle. With pick 7, I'm going to go ahead and project that the Green Bay Packers are going to take Tristan Wirfs, left tackle. With the number 8 pick, I'm going to project that the Detroit Lions are going to take Isaiah Simmons, middle linebacker. With the number 9 pick, I have the Niners taking Jeffrey Okudah, cornerback. Looks like he's the best corner coming out of this draft. With the number 10 pick, I'm going to say that the New Orleans Saints are taking Ken Murray, middle linebacker. They desperately need some linebacker help. The number 11 pick, the Indianapolis Colts, I've got Jake Fromm going there. For some reason, I just got a feeling he's going Jake Fromm. I know there might have been some other quarterbacks that might be rated a little bit higher, but just had a feeling that the Colts are going to go after Jake Fromm. I know he's got Jacoby Brissett. Don't think he's really happy with him. Wouldn't be shocked to see him take Jake Fromm right here, quarterback. Pick number 12, C.D. Lamb, wide receiver, projected to go to the Oakland Raiders. Number 13, the Washington Redskins selecting wide receiver Laviska Shenault. Number 14, again, the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know why you guys are dummies. Why are you guys giving him your draft picks? He's got 3 picks in the top 14. Shame on each and every one of you idiots that traded him your draft picks, and Peyton, you're one of them.
Well,
pick number 4. No, just shut it down, man. Shut it down. I ain't got no excuse. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Shouldn't have done it. Pick number 14, Jedrick Wills, right tackle. He's got that left tackle he drafted. That he traded for you, Whitworth. I think he's going to retire. If I know Alpha's going to make sure he replaces that offensive lineman so he maintains the best O-line in the game. Pick number 15, coming up to me again. If DeAndre Swift is there, I'm going to take him, although I do have Tevin Coleman, who's already a superstar running back. The way I run my game, you can never have enough good running backs. I can start using a 2 running back system. I'll put one out there in the depth chart as a wideout, and I could have him for trade bait. So we'll see what happens, but I'm hoping DeAndre Swift falls to me right there. I'll take him at 15. Pick 16, I've got the Tennessee Titans taking Raekwon Davis at defensive tackle. They have a really old defensive line. They're really productive, but really old. He's going to need to go ahead and start looking for the future, so I see him taking Raekwon Davis there. Pick 17, Ben Roethlisberger is getting old. He's 37 going on 38. He may retire. Got a feeling that the Steelers user is going to go ahead and take care of that quarterback position, and I see Justin Herbert falling to him at number 17. Pick 18, you got the Bills showing up on here again. I think they're going to address offensive line early in the draft, but I think they're going to come back right here and work on their linebacking core. They've got some older linebackers. I've got Clavon Chasen going to them at pick 18. Again, this is getting really old, you guys. The Baltimore Ravens, again, with pick 19, they're going to get another pass rusher, Curtis Weaver, defensive end, left end. Pick number 20, Green Bay Packers, earlier on, they addressed the offensive line. I see them going and getting them a corner to pair up with their number 1 corner. I see Trayvon Diggs, cornerback, going to them at pick number 20. At 21, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals working on that terrible offensive line of theirs. They went and got the defensive player, number 1 overall, taking Chase Young. I see them coming right here and taking Tyler Biadasz. I don't know if I said that right or not, but he's a center. I see them grabbing him, coming right back with a back-to-back pick. He needs a running back. He traded away Joe Mixon. I see him possibly grabbing Jonathan Taylor right here, so he's got him a nice offensive toy to build around. Moving on to pick 23, I've got the LA Chargers taking Alex Leatherwood. They've got a terrible line out there. I want to say they've only got like one offensive lineman over an 80 overall. So Chargers definitely need some offensive line help, so I see them grabbing one of these nice tackles in this draft. Moving on to pick 24, you've got the Saints, who have their second draft pick in this draft in the first round. I think Grant Delpit's going to fall right there, one of the better safeties in this draft. I see him falling maybe into the 20s. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see the Saints go ahead and take Grant Delpit right there. Big dude, 6'3". He'll fit in their defense nicely. Pick number 25, I've got the Carolina Panthers taking a safety as well, taking Shaheem Carter. They need a safety over there in Carolina. Moving on to pick 26, with the second pick in the first round made by the Redskins, I'm going to say they went wide receiver early on. I think right here they're going to go ahead and work on their defensive backs, taking C.J. Henderson, cornerback, at pick 26. Pick 27, the Eagles, I see that they've got some problems there at the linebacking core. I wouldn't be shocked if they take Dylan Moses, middle linebacker, right here at pick 27. Pick 28, Raiders have their second of two picks in the first round right here. They addressed wide receiver early on. I think they're going to do the same thing as the Redskins, go receiver early and then go corner later on, taking Paulson Adebo. Pick 29, I've got the Chiefs taking Creed Humphrey, center. He's got a really bad offensive line. He needs somebody to help protect Patrick Mahomes out there, let Tyreek Hill run wild, so I see him taking offensive line here. I also need some offensive linemen, so with pick 30, I got a feeling Shane Lamo is going to fall to me, left guard. He could go earlier, but if he falls, I'll probably snag him up right there. Pick 31, you got the Falcons. They desperately need a quarterback because Matt Ryan is getting up there in age. Big contract. Wouldn't be shocked if he trades him away or cuts him. I see him grabbing Jacob Eason right there, quarterback, pick 31. And with the last pick in the first round, I've got the Panthers adding another playmaker to their offense, taking Henry Ruggs III, wide receiver. I know that was a ton of information, Peyton. I know that was a lot of info, you guys, but Peyton, what do you think about these selections I've got right here? Do you agree with them? What are you feeling, man?
No, I agree with most of them. Like you said, people need certain players for certain positions. You definitely have to go for that. I mean, just because whatever the best available is at the time, it might not be what you need for your team to help your team be better. But yeah, pretty much, it sounded like pretty good picks, I guess, for each one.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with any.
And the way I look at the draft is, there's different strategies. I feel like in the top 10, if you've got a top 10 pick, you can get one of the best players available and fill a position you need. So, usually, let's say, Chase Young goes number 1 overall. The next person can just take the best running back on the board or take the best quarterback on the board. You can get what you need, and you can also select from best player available. I feel like if you've got later picks in the draft, if you get like somewhere like in the 20s, almost to the back of the first round, you kind of have to take best player available. It's kind of hard sometimes to fill what you need. Obviously, if you got picked, 23, 24, 25, you're not going to pass up on somebody that should have went top 10. But having 2 picks in the first round, that really comes in handy because you can address a need, and then you can go and possibly just take a swing on the fences for the best player available. Luckily, I have 3 first-round picks, so I can take best player available with one of those, and then I can address a couple of needs with a few more picks. But this should be a really nice draft, you guys. We'll get some more information out as we get rolling through the playoffs, but the draft's going to be sometime next week, and we'll do a much more detailed show where we're going to break down the free agents that we've got, and we'll break down some more drafting. So that's pretty much it I've got for it today. Peyton, you got anything you want to add, man? Any stats that stood out to you this year? Any teams that wowed you? Was there anybody that you were shocked? What you got going on, man?
I'm really not too shocked at certain people. I mean, like, it's the first year. We got new people moving in. You don't really know. You're trying to see who's good, who's not. I want to say, did the Ravens with Balaj, did he break that LT record? I want to say he did, actually.
I think he did.
I think he got it by 1. I'm about to check right now.
Yeah, I think he had the 30 touchdowns. Excellent year with Balaj. And he came out of nowhere. First couple of weeks, he wasn't really running with him too much. He was passing a little bit more. And I know I had Tevin Coleman up there in the MVP race. And right past like week 10, I fell way outside of the MVP race. Also because I was playing some really tough competition. I had a really tough stretch there. I had to play the Browns, who have great game, awesome user skills, but he's super aggressive. So he leaves himself open for guys to come back on him because he's always going for those home run plays. Excellent user, needs to work on just playing some fundamental football though, and I think he'll be in good shape. Had to come back and play the Eagles again. Played really solid fundamental football, but he didn't take risks. So kind of like the opposite, the Giants. Giants had me down quick. But he was another very hyper-aggressive player, and when you're aggressive like that, it gives me time to kind of learn you, and I was able to capitalize on some mistakes. A lot of really good teams this year in this league, though. I felt like in our last franchise, you had about 2 or 3 guys that could win a Super Bowl, then a big bunch of guys that were decent, and then we had a lot of trash at the bottom. I feel like in this franchise, there's a lot of competition. I know out with me in the AFC, you got Alpha Male with the Ravens out there busting heads open. You got me out there with the Dolphins making the tuna work. You got the Chiefs looking good. You got the Chargers playing well. You got the Browns playing well. The Bills, they were right on my neck earlier on in the season. They hit a bad patch, but the Bills have a really good passing game. The Raiders are solid. The Titans were solid. You've got a lot of solid teams out in the AFC this year. Same thing in the NFC. You've got a lot of heavy hitters. You got the Falcons, who are just demolishing teams. You got the Eagles. You got the Giants. I know you were hanging in there for a while. You ended up getting put out. But you got the Vikings. Vikings are looking good. Who are some more teams? There's another playoff team I'm missing.
Raiders?
Yeah, no, for the NFC side. I'm sorry, the NFC side.
I'm not looking right now. I remember. I'm gonna say something in a minute. Keep continue.
Okay. But a lot of solid teams, you guys. We really like the competition. It's making all of us get better. For you guys that are getting your ass whipped, hopefully it's kind of sparking a fire. Go figure out some gameplay tips. Reach out, look online, go to YouTube, Reddit, whatever you got to do, man. Get into the lab. Get better. I don't want to see people getting drugged, but I didn't see a lot of blowouts this year. I do want to give a quick shout out to my man Paper Trail with the Dallas Cowboys. He had a rough year. He's had a lot going on, but it's because he was planning a proposal to his now fiancée. So my man got engaged recently. His mind wouldn't focus on Madden, but he put the ring on it. Now let's see if he can go get a Super Bowl ring this next season. So congratulations to my man Paper Trail putting the ring on his girl's finger. What you got, Peyton?
Oh, no, there was a bunch of records that were broken this season. Starting off with rushing yards, Miles Sanders, he broke Eric Dickerson's record by 100 and I want to say 68 yards. Also, Balaj broke LT's record. He had 30 touchdowns. LT's record was 28. With receiving touchdowns, Tyreek Hill with the Chiefs had 24. He broke Randy Moss's record. Also, Calvin Ridley with the Falcons tied Randy Moss's record with 23. We also had defensive sacks. So there was 5-6 people, I want to say, that broke at the time. This guy, I don't know how to say his name. He had the most sacks in a year with 22. But Fletcher Cox had 23 sacks. Devin Bush had 24 sacks. Myles Garrett had 25 sacks. DeMarcus Lawrence and Khalil Mack both had 25 sacks this year.
That's a lot. That's a lot of pass rush. That's a lot of pass rush.
Yeah, that's crazy. Also, the Ravens had he broke the interception record with Jacoby Jones. He had 15. The previous record was 14.
Yeah, you guys, I hope you guys learned this first year who the best player is in our league, and it is without a doubt, unquestionably, Alpha Male with the Ravens. All right, Alpha Male is an excellent Madden player. But I do know sometimes, he'll kind of back down a little bit to focus on building players. He's one of the best team builders out there. He's got the whole package. He's got good stick skills. He knows the game. He knows how to be a GM. He knows how to build his players. The good thing is, he's a humanitarian, all right? He loves to teach people. All you guys got to do, get your dick out your ass, quit having an ego, hit him up. He's always more than willing to teach you guys stuff. But if y'all come in there trying to have that pride and that ego, he's going to thump your skull open. So he's always willing to teach you. I learned a lot of my game from him. He and I have been playing Madden for a long time. We used to play tournament play a long time ago. Solid player. I know the Chiefs. Chiefs are really solid. Had a nice battle with them in our last franchise. It was less than a touchdown, so he's really good. Plays solid football. One of the biggest disappointments for me this year, I have to say, it's either going to be I'm gonna have to go with. That's a tough one, Peyton. Trying to think of the biggest disappointment. You disappointed me a good bit, sir, because you got the Rams, and I don't know what the hell you're doing. But it might have to be the 49ers with Cal out there. He was a playoff team in our last franchise, and I don't know if he's rebuilding or what's going on. I know he's been working a lot lately. I don't know if maybe he's doing like community service, if he did some time. I don't know what's going on, but I'd like to see him get those 49ers in the right direction. There's a lot of talent out there. And I got to say the biggest surprise, obviously I want to say myself, but I'm not going to say that. But I might have to say the Vikings. Vikings. Actually, no. What was the record? What was the record for the Giants? What's the record for the Giants?
I'll tell you right now. He had a pretty good season, though.
Yeah, I know the Giants traded away a lot of talent. I know he traded away Saquon Barkley, made some moves. Thought maybe
Giants
he was.
Were 10-6.
Yeah, that might have to be my biggest surprise. Losing Saquon Barkley and then still being able to go and put up. That shows right there that the dude knows this game. He knows how to play Madden. So watch out for him after he gets an offseason under his belt. So you guys look forward to these. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Who do you think had the dumbest trade throughout the whole entire?
The dumbest trade? Anybody that traded with the Ravens. All right.
Not true.
So, well, you can think whatever you want to think, but anybody that traded draft picks to the Ravens, you are absolutely stupid. Some of you guys trade your draft picks away thinking y'all are going to be Super Bowl winners, and your draft pick ain't going to be worth shit, and your draft pick is now number 1, number 2, number 3 overall. So make sure when you guys trade your draft picks away, really think about it. You guys could be screwing up your future. Not only are you getting a great talent in the first round, possibly getting an X factor, but you're also getting a guy locked up on a very affordable contract for 3 or 4 years. So when you guys trade away these first round picks, don't trade them away for pennies on the dollar. Make sure you guys are getting a player back that's young, that has a development trait, or they have attributes which are really hard to get. Make sure you value your draft picks. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
So now, if you're my man Otero with the Cowboys, I know he doesn't care about the draft. He doesn't value draft picks. He goes and gets players that build his play style. So if you guys know you can't draft, you're not going to draft, then trade them away. But at least understand the value that those draft picks have. Anything else you got, Peyton, to close us out?
Yeah, like he said, based off with the picks that you're trading, man. If you're gonna trade a pick and you're some hot garbage, or you're not gonna win that many games, make sure you get your worth, man. Make sure you're gonna get some picks or some players that you're gonna keep for a long time, and you won't regret giving away picks for, I guess, per se.
Yeah, and I gotta say that the Patriots, they were really smart. He traded away his first round pick, but I know he got Todd Gurley in return. So that's, a deal that you want to make all day and twice on Sunday. I want to say that the Steelers did the same thing. They made some trades and they got Ezekiel Elliott. That makes sense. Somebody went and traded and got Saquon Barkley. Those type of trades make sense. If you're going to trade away that first-round pick, you need to be getting a superstar, an X factor, somebody young, somebody that's not a dime a dozen. You don't want to go trade your first-round pick away for an old offensive lineman with an 85 overall who's 32, 33. Don't get duped, all right? If you guys got some trade talks going on, hit up one of the commissioners. We'll tell you if we think it's a fair trade. Hit me up. I love to help people get better. I'm not the best on the sticks, but I do know this game. I can really help you guys out as far as GM skills. Shoot it to me. I can tell you if I think it's fair or how you could probably improve. So that's pretty much it for me, Peyton. That was a short show. Let's go ahead and get these playoffs rolling. I'm going to try to knock my game out tonight against the Chiefs. The Chiefs will be streaming that game, so you guys tune in. That should be a good game. And that's pretty much it for me. You got anything else, Peyton?
No, we're good, man. I'm just trying to see how the rest of the playoffs go. I'm going to be watching some games, so.
All right, well, let's get these playoffs knocked out, you guys, and get ready for a good offseason. There should be some decent free agents, and we're going to have a really nice draft. So you guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for being in the league. We do all this shit for you guys. We're not doing this stuff for money or anything like that. We just want you guys to have a good league home. We got limited gameplay rules. The biggest thing is just the roster rules. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.
Weezy out of here.